today. This could be a scene from an exciting TV drama, but it's real life. An event so sudden and violent that the people in this shop and in the high street outside will remember it all their lives.
They have knife and they have hammer and they have axes.
I felt my heart. I couldn't swallow.
The local people outside are shocked and terrified, but bravely, they decide to do something about it.
I said, we have to help. I thought if I put anything in front of the bike, it would stop the bike.
First, if you're out shopping in the high street and suddenly see a violent raid like this happening to a shop, what do? Run? Shout for help? Get involved? Well, that's the choice that faced people in this busy London street, and what they did was quite extraordinary. Kingsbury in northwest London is a multicultural community. There's a cluster of shops and restaurants along the main road that have been opened by families from Iraq. Sammy moved here 3 years ago to begin a jewellery business. His family left Iraq when he was just 13 years old after war broke out with neighbouring Iran.
My father was not happy with this, so we coming out of Iraq.
As refugees, Sammy and his family lived in Copenhagen for many years. He became fluent in Danish and in his mid-20s renovated and opened his first jewellery shop.
We start very simple and small, but our business grow very quick.
Then in 2013, Sammy brought his family to London because he wanted his children to have an English education. He identified Kingsbury as a good spot to open a jeweller's. But first, the family had to spend many months of hard labour sorting out some premises.
We start from zero. My kids, my wife, they was also with me here. We worked so hard to do this shop.
When they opened, the business soon began to grow. Sammy's son Amin was keen to learn the trade.
Just being in the shop and seeing what's going around you, even though I'm not doing much because I was a kid, you start to pick up on the business.
Things were going well for Sammy and his family, but then they were put through a terrifying ordeal which was to test them and their neighbours to the limit. It's early afternoon on a Monday in September. Sammy's jewellery shop's CCTV cameras show a busy main road outside, and inside there's Sammy, working with a colleague and his son Mehdi.
It was 2 o'clock. I was in this area speaking with a customer.
Meanwhile, just down the road, the owner of an Iraqi restaurant, Haider, is standing in the street when he hears something that catches his attention.
I saw 4 motorbikes. They went to the jeweler. I feel there is something bad happened. I've been through 3 wars. I am so sensitive toward these things. I said, this is not right. This is going to be very bad things. It's robbery.
Inside the jeweller's, Sammy is concentrating on some customers. Then he hears someone kicking at the front entrance. It's a security door, normally only unlocked when letting customers in and out.
I say, what has happened? In this second, they start smashing the door. I was so worried about the customer and ourselves and my son and colleague.
Sammy's son immediately presses the alarm.
When we pressed the alarm, all neighbors, they hear there is happened something here.
The pounding from the robber's battering ram echoes around the street, and Haider hears it.
That noise, unfortunately, that got very bad memory to me. When I heard that noise, I couldn't do anything. I just like a jam, just stays in one place. Locals
come to see what's going on. Some start filming with their mobile phones. Haider is now standing outside his restaurant with his staff, just out of this camera's picture. The robbers have now smashed through Sammy's front entrance and are starting on the interior door that's also locked.
More than 14 or 13 times they hit the glass door.
Sammy and his colleagues pick up the baseball bats that are kept at hand to protect their jewellery.
This is our business. We did that from zero with the hard work. How can I leave them to take our stuff?
But there are 7 robbers. Sammy and his staff are outnumbered, and they see that the robbers are heavily armed.
When I saw they have knife and they have hammer and they have axes and they can hit us, my son there, my colleague there, me, and customers. So I tell them, go back.
When the robbers burst in, the terrified customers manage to run past them. Sammy and his colleagues dash into a back room where they lock the door and call 999. One of the customers is so panic-stricken she trips and has to be dragged to safety. Trapped in the back office, Sammy hears the glass cabinets out front being smashed to bits.
It was a very bad feeling because in this second I feel they break my life.
Outside, a crowd is gathering. A student from the neighbourhood, Jafar, is on his way home from school.
Couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe my eyes. This is a street I've been visiting for like 6 years, and seeing that really shocked me.
3 of the robbers stay outside the shop to scare off anyone nearby.
We were so panicked what to do. We don't know what they're holding in their hand. We thought gun.
Haider thinks about tackling the lookout men, but decides it's too dangerous.
Maybe because of the big responsibility I have so many people work for me, I have to look after.
From inside the back room, Sammy can hear there's chaos taking place the other side of the door.
We hear only glass and alarm and many voices. It was very terrible. It's very terrible.
In the street, the pressure builds in the crowd for someone to do something. As a defiant gesture, a man throws a large knife towards the lookout men. Haider's thoughts turn towards Sammy inside the shop.
I can't imagine what's gonna happen to that man. I felt my heart. I couldn't swallow. So one moment I said, we have to help.
And help they do, with great courage.
Oh my God. Crazy.
Later, as the gang of robbers get ready to leave, the locals surge forward.
They grabbed whatever they could find, from crates, wood, everything, and they just started attacking the thieves.
And Haider risks his life trying to stop them getting away.
I said, this is the best moment to hit them.
Go on, they're catching it.
On the road that has a small community of Middle Eastern shops and restaurants, 7 armed men are robbing a jeweller's in broad daylight. They're banking on fear to keep back a crowd that's gathering in the street. Inside the jeweller's, the owner Sammy and his son Mehdi, along with a colleague, have been forced to take refuge in the back office. Sammy tries to get out, but is forced back.
When I opened the door, one of these people hit the door by big X, like this.
Sammy has no choice but to stay in the office. The attack has now been going on for just over a minute. But outside, shopkeepers and locals are gathering, feeling the need to get involved. A student, Jafar, has just joined the crowd.
People were starting to appear from anywhere, like ordinary people, all kinds of ethnicity. All they wanted to do was help out.
Local restaurant owner Haider and his staff are summoning the courage to tackle the robbers.
Most of the boys start there, they start shouting, they give us some encouragement.
After 90 seconds ransacking the shop, the robbers begin their getaway on motorbikes.
The moment they start leaving the place, to me this is the best moment to get into because they are not in attacking position.
The locals surge forward.
When the thieves start running away, they start splitting.
2 bikers went to the other side and 2 bikers came to our side.
Haider grabs a trolley used to move pallets.
I thought if I put anything in front of the bike, it would stop the bike.
But the motorbikes are escaping too quickly. A van driver does his bit to try and stop the robbers.
Oh my God.
There was one van driver, as the moped was escaping, he turned and hit the moped guy, but he still managed to get away.
Then Haider sees his chance when a second bike heads towards him.
The moment they jumped to the other side of the curb, I chased them between the cars. They came to me and they just little push and they hit the curb and they fall off, they stopped.
The driver's leg is caught under the bike, but his passenger leaps up.
He is trying to fight with me. When he saw the crowd came behind me, he decided to run toward the park.
The passenger gets away, but the driver is surrounded.
They just wanted to prevent him from leaving. They literally put a crate on him, just held him down so he can't get away.
Within minutes, the police arrive and deal with the robber. Inside his jewellery shop, Sammy is taking stock of what's happened, unaware of what's going on outside.
In that second, I felt that everything's break. I feel everything's gone. It was so bad.
But when Sammy hears that one of the robbers has been caught, he goes outside and sees all his neighbours in the street.
When I coming out and I saw the people, they won't help us, my feeling they changed from down to up.
On the other side of the road, jewellery is spilled all over the pavement. Even though the locals could pocket it in all the commotion, they pick it up to return to Sammy.
We found that bike has a lots of gold. That moment, I saw something, I really liked it. The community gathered together and they start collecting all the gold.
Witnessing that made me it made me really happy at that moment, and the way people cared for Sam was amazing.
There is an old man. He got very big problem with his spine. I know him personally, but he took the responsibility to hold that gold and to bring every single piece back to that man.
His neighbours helping him in his time of need means the world to Sammy.
There was more than 10, 15 people, they bring it gold to me. I can't remember all. In that time, I feel I am okay. This means I am not alone because we have these friends. And always I say many thanks for them.
By contrast, the robber was left high and dry by his friends. In court, he was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison for the robbery and other offences. Sammy didn't want to let the attack ruin his business. He made his shop more secure, worked hard to replace the stolen jewellery, and a few months later, he felt he was ready to open his shop again.
We were so scared in the beginning, but we saw something is not in our mind. People, they buy from us more than before. They come and they say, well done, neighbor, well done, good areas.
The way the locals united during the robbery will be remembered for a long time in Kingsbury.
What they did for us is going to make the area safer now. The police came and said this to us. They were like, what you just did, that's something very special that not many do. And they said if something like that was to happen in every other area, then crime is going to get reduced so much.